of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Jeff Daniels from HBO, The Newsroom. Go ahead, sir. You make if you're in the audience and want to come up, please do. But go ahead, sir. You may respond if you wish. And I guess you wish not. Okay. Let's go back up to the Mod Squad. JCC, would you like to contribute at this time, or are you good?
I'm actually pretty good, Steve. I'm looking forward to some good combos happening. Sorry I was not available earlier. I was talking to my daughter at that time. So
it's not a problem.
Yeah, looking for a good room /show.
Thanks for keeping me in check, buddy. I appreciate it. Let's go.
I appreciate you being able to be checked.
Thank you. Let's go to Alfonso. Alfonso, would you like to contribute at this time? Alfonso, once, twice. He's with the Fan Bam a lot. Let's go to Violet. Violet, would you like to contribute at this time?
No, I don't really have anything on my mind at the moment. Just listening like JCC. I'm glad to have a cool place to hang out and
Thank you.
Listen.
Let's go back to Monsef. Monsef, stock market, not quite an all-time high, but pretty high. Do you think that the market is due for a correction come the end of the year, the stock market?
Well, it proved to be a pretty resilient market, Steve. And the reality is that it's not, 2008, that it's all, pre-2008.
Well, we're talking here, autism about kind of a relatively new car. So, Rebel, let's start with you. Tell us about this.
It's built on big companies that have good earnings that showed they are kind of almost immune from what's going on in the world, especially with the oil prices and all that. Now, keep in mind that we had a bull market now going on, and it started with coming out of COVID, and then the AI revolution and all that. So the S&P really and all the other indices are due for a correction. Doesn't mean that it's going to be caused because conditions are so bad. It just means that when things go up so much, you're going to have a lot of people taking profits, for example. I mean, remember NVIDIA, how it went up, and then anything
Absolutely.
then anything that had AI in its name went up so much.
Yes.
Everybody's following the stuff. Look at Intel, for example, as a U.S. company that went from not being really in the game to being like the number one favorite.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're sitting on gains of 3x, 5x, whatever, a lot of people are gonna say, you know what, I made so much money, I'm gonna secure some profits, and by that the market will adjust. Like I said, the market seems to be pushed by companies with good earnings. Believe it or not, NVIDIA right now, at the prices that it trades right now, it's just an example of these big tech companies that actually control, the market, is actually cheaper at this price than what it was before at higher stock prices, because they kept their earnings are much higher, their profits are much higher. So when you do like price to earning ratio, it's actually a lower ratio than when it was, a year ago, 2 years ago. So stocks are not overly, expensive. It is a correction is expected to happen. I don't think it's going to be a 20-25% drop.
Right.
Although I listened to, the president was in my neck of the woods yesterday. I didn't go to the spiel. I was
Do me a huge favor. Take another minute, because I want to get to Sam, and then we'll take the break, because Sam is new on stage.
Oh yeah.
Take another minute.
Yeah, this will be my last point. The president was here yesterday at a place called the Villages, which is in Central Florida. He gave a speech. It's a retirement community. a lot of the city with retired people with big homes, and he gave a speech and he said, I expected the stock market to fall 25% because of the war, and it didn't. And it's like the war is not going to make the stock market fall by 25% because Nvidia and like I said, Intel and whatever, is not going to be affected that much by what's going on in the oil market. So, that's, a big drop is not really expected. Maybe it's going to, be flat like we did for the first 3 months of the year. A drop to 5 to 10% is possible. But then again, anything is, we don't know what's going to happen from now until the end of the year. The bottom line, investment always, you shouldn't worry about these short-term events because if anybody sold when the tariff war was going on, when the war with Iran was just announced, they would have sold and stayed. They would have missed the uptick that happened afterwards. So always, be a little less emotionally involved with your investments. Believe in what you have, and don't look at your 401k every week. That's my advice.
Very good. Let's say hello to Sam, who's new on stage. Sam, good morning. You have a Fresh Five starting.
Good morning, Steve. Great show.
You're very kind. Thank you.
Monsefus? Is that
Monsef.
Yeah, you did a really good analysis, and it would, as someone who's been trading for 30 years myself, I'm understanding what you're saying. Some other folks may not get the fine nuances of what you're saying. But I'd like to ask you a question. What do you think about the bond yields, where it's going to go?
Monsef, if you want to answer, you may.
The bond yields they have been picking up. There is, a notion that risk is higher. International bond holders, I guess, a lot of them are selling our bond as a response to the tariffs and all that. When you sell U.S. bonds, the risk goes up, the bond yield goes up. I read an article yesterday that the president just purchased about $333 million worth of corporate bonds because of the expectation that with Kevin Walsh coming in, that it's going to be good for the bond market. The 10-year has proven to be resilient again, and it's probably going to go up as risk keeps going up.
Right. Do you see? Well, Jamie was talking about a possible spike. Where do you think the top is on the yield? Because I don't want, you don't want to get into
No idea on what the top is. I mean, I heard.
What's the spike he's referring to? How much of a spike are we talking about here?
Well, the spike is going on, but how much? That nobody's going to answer that. Despite all the conditions are really right for bond yields to keep going up, and with that, you get your mortgage rates are going to stay up and all, and it's just an indication that we are in a risky environment. And with risk, you are, if someone is getting money to your bonds, they are going to ask for a higher yield in order for them to give you their money. So it's just an indication that we are in a high risk environment. And with high risk, a high yield is kind of required. So how high it could go, we don't know what's going to happen 3 months from now with all the stuff going on.
And with that, we are at the top of the hour. For everybody on stage, and Howard is new, we encourage you to stay on stage because we're definitely going to want to hear from you in hour number 2. And if you're in the audience and you haven't spoken yet, we encourage you to be bold, brave, courageous. Raise your hand, come on up, and talk about whatever you want. 1 hour in the tank, 2 hours left. My new favorite comedian, of course, is Nikki Glazer, and this is her take on what it really means to be on top. But don't go away. We'll be right back on Ask Uncle Steve with the Mod Squad.
Remember any of the sex I had? It's all blackout. If you can't remember it, did it happen? I don't think so. only virgin with HPV then. I think that's what that means. So that's exciting. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why I'm eager to have sex because I don't think I'm good at it. I recently had to have phone sex to talk down my Verizon bill, and do what you gotta do, and I'm not good at it. Because you have to be creative in the moment. It comes out of nowhere, like talk dirty, and I'm like, I have a vagina, just like stating facts. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just laying here. Bye. And that's all I did. Because that's all I did. That's all I do. I just lay back and get it. Girls, you can kind of just lay there, can't you? Have you? Being on bottom, it's the tops down there. It's awesome. It's enough that you're there most of the time. It's great. I treat it like a massage. I recommend it. And yes, they'll ask you to participate, and you should. You know, if you bought you dinner at Chili's or something, you should wiggle. You know, that 2 for $20, that'll get you. But that's embarrassing. I remember once this guy was giving me a really good rogering, and at some point, yeah, I'm bringing that back. Sounds classy, right? Good rogering. It sounds like he courted me or something. He did it. Sounds like I knew his name. And it wasn't Roger. It was Phil, but saying he gave me a good filling doesn't have quite the connotation that I like. So rogering sounds nice. Because that's the thing. Girls, we can't be like, we have to come up with euphemisms. My least favorite of which is fooled around. Let's stop saying that. My friend the other day was like, Josh and I, we just fooled around. I'm like, ugh, what did he get your nose? Did you guys get that table fight? Did he pull a quarter out of your vagina at some point? Oh, he did, okay. Well, then that's fooling around. You have it. Oh, God. Yeah, I was getting a good rogering from this fellow, and in the middle of it, I remember he was like, hey, will you get on top? And I was like, he woke me up. I'm like, let's go on top.
Share your point of view, but then a little about what's bothering you. Got a question that's on your mind. Be bold, brave, courageous. Come on up and get your fresh fire. What does that mean? Well, listen up. Have a take, just don't suck. Be respectful, make your point in a reasonable way. Come on up.
Ask Uncle Steve today. Yeah, Startup Hour number 2, and thank you, Violet, for putting that together. Love that. Welcome to another Saturday edition of Ask Uncle Steve with the Mod Squad. If you're here for the first time, the South Show works. Everybody in the audience, especially the new speakers, that means you, is encouraged to be bold, brave, courageous. Come on up and talk about whatever you want. We never, ever put a restriction on content, politics, current events, Clubhouse, you, me, the show, just have a take and don't suck. What does that mean? Be able to put 2 sentences together and make sense. It doesn't matter if I agree or disagree with you, just to be able to make some sense. And with that, let's say hello.
Benjamin wants to respond to your last video.
I tell you what, Benjamin, you can go after Howard because Howard is new, and then we'll go to Benjamin. You got it. Howard, you have a fresh 5 thanking you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. What would you like to talk about?
Hi, good morning, Steve.
Hi,
everyone. Yeah, and I think I just put it in chat. Did anyone see what happened at that Buffalo Sabres hockey game when the singer was singing "Oh Canada"?
No.
And her microphone cut out, so she was having technical difficulties. And there were, 18,000 people in the arena.
If you could speak a little closer to your microphone, that'd be amazing. Thank you.
But the rest of the arena picked up on singing and finishing the "Oh Canada" Canadian national anthem. And I'm just curious, just in terms of our, call it even the political times we're living in, I just find it interesting that we had the grace to honor Canada the way we did at a sporting event, organically.
All right. Would anybody on stage like to comment? Just unmute and say your first name on this particular topic.
I'll say
So Howard,
that occurred here in the States?
Yeah,
I didn't hear the first part. Yeah, I was about to click on it, but I wanted to hear your side of it first. But yeah, I think that's pretty amazing that us peeps as a country can finish the anthem of another country in support of a great thing, and that's a really beautiful thing. Thanks for sharing. That's awesome.
Anybody else?
Yes. So I think what Howard is getting at is we want to be a we, and not just an individual.
We can't resist it. We are a we. We can't stop it.
Yeah. But you can choose the we you are, right? I mean, and I think what Howard's getting at is there's another kind of we could be. And Trump has monopolized the stage and turned us over to our worst demons, not our better angels. And I think there's a way we could be that's really different. And King Charles offered us a different kind of way. And I think, we're all lonely. We're all alone. We're not, we're not at our best. When we are collective, we can choose who we are. And I think that example Howard put down, and also the example King Charles put down, is a vision for a different kind of way. And
it's interesting that you say that. I did. We'll come right back to you, Howard and Benjamin. I haven't forgotten about you, and then Dr. Francine is new. I put on the Jumbotron, the new Pew Research study about Americans' assessment that President Donald Trump has declined steadily over the last several months. His job approval rating now stands at 34%, the lowest mark of his second term. He has also lost ground across a variety of personal attributes and issues. One of the steepest declines have been in the share of Americans who say Trump keeps his promises. Today, 38% say this describes Trump very or fairly well, down from 43% last August and 51% shortly after his reelection in November. The share who described Trump as mentally sharp, 44%, is also down last August from 48%. If we go back to Obama, would anybody ever say that Obama was not sharp during his presidency? I mean, you may have disagreed with his politics, but dude was sharp as a nail. He was spot on. But let's go back to Howard, then Benjamin, then Dr. Francine. Go ahead, Howard.
Oh, no, Steve, thank you very much. Scott really expressed the point I was trying to make, so I appreciate it.
You got it. And now, as promised, Benjamin, you get a fresh five, and then Dr. Francine. Go ahead, Benjamin.
Yeah, well, I wanted to get back to something Scott was saying, and that is the definition of we and America and its better angels. And there is this notion that the Statue of Liberty stands out as an invitation for people to leave the country that they can't abide and come to a country that will give them fresh hope. And the problem, I think, has become people don't want to leave. They want to come, but they don't want to leave. And it's letting go of the thing that you can't abide that's difficult. And so when people come to California from India, for example, it was the case when I was younger, people would come to America to become Americans. And they would leave India because they didn't want to be Indians. But now people come from India and they bring with them all of the things that make India a place that people would rather leave than go to. Look at the migration. I don't know how many Americans are leaving America to live in India relative to the number of Indians leaving India to come to America, but it's probably like 1 million. So that gives you just a rough idea, like a measuring stick on what kind of place India is. Now, when people come from India and they come to California and they set up India Indianness in California. Indian food, love the food and everything else, right? But what's happening in California is Indian people in California are complaining to their boss, to the place of work, to their senators of the Indianness, and specifically they're complaining that when they are at work, the people from India who are Brahmin and have, I don't know, some red tattoo on their forehead or something, are looking down at the people who are not Brahmin and treating them like shit. Because that's the way of India, is the caste system. The Brahmin are the elite class, and they have the right to shit on everybody else. And so they come to America not to leave that crap, but to bring their crap to the United States and reenact their shit in the United States. And it's not a problem, weirdly, it's not a problem for people in the United States. The Brahmin don't look down and don't treat people in the United States like shit. They treat the other people who have immigrated from India like shit. And it's the people who are leaving a country. Very often immigrants leave a country, and this will come as a shock, I know, if you're in the audience, if you're left, if you voted for Kamala Harris, close your ears for a minute, because this is going to be really difficult for you to hear. It's really difficult for you to hear. Sometimes when people leave a country, they leave that country because they don't like it. And when they go to another country, they want to get away from it. And they want to be away from the people that they are leaving. And when they come to a country and they get a job and they're exposed to the same kind of caste Brahma shit that they just tried to leave, it is really depressing. And it's a problem. And when people leave an Islamic country and they come to the United States, the best thing for them would be to escape Islam, right? But the worst outcomes that they get shuttled into a place where there's a lot of people and the imams are there and the dominants and the people who will threaten them, literally kill them if they leave Islam, are there. And they haven't escaped the very thing that they left to escape. The Sharia law is still in place. If they leave Islam, they could be killed. If they don't wear the hijab, they could be, treated harshly, and et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera. So I think that what we have to do as a country is we have to understand who we are, what the rules are here. I have known people that have immigrated from Russia. The last thing in the world they want to do is be around other Russians, because that's exactly the culture that they left. And they know how people behave in that culture. They know how the men treat their women like objects, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're a liberal and you voted for Kamala, you don't know this. You think that all cultures in the world are equal, and everywhere people treat each other with respect and dignity and equality. And Kamala told you that, so you believed it. It's really sad that you're in this condition, and I don't know what can be done to help you. But look, reality is a bitch, and you have to appreciate that you are infinitely better off in the United States than you would be in an Islamic country.
1 minute, Benjamin, 1 minute.
So Pro challenged me with this the other day, and he said, well, what about Malaysia? It's an Islamic country, and it's good. And it turns out that in Malaysia, if you draw pictures of the Prophet Muhammad, you can go to prison. If you blaspheme the Prophet Muhammad, you can go to prison. You don't have freedom of jack shit in Malaysia. Okay, so I just challenge anybody here to name an Islamic country that they would send their daughter to go live in. A country that they think has good laws on the books, laws that will protect their children. And I will show you a country that will kill your child if they are gay, if they blaspheme the Prophet Muhammad, if they have opinions about religion or politics. You just don't know, because you're so goddamn ignorant about the real world. And there's so little people can do to get through to you and make you understand that America is indeed the best country. Not because it's first in literacy, it's not. But Japan is far from the best country. Japan would be a goddamn shithole if it weren't for the United States. Do you know what Japan
15 seconds.
You know the kind of
15
violence that
seconds.
Japan implemented on China? That there's just a horrendous anti-civilization that was Japan before the United States got there. And fucking Canada? Canada can't defend itself against a ship full of rats. It's the United States that is creating anything that looks like civilization anywhere in the world. The reason Canada has a medical system is because it doesn't have to pay the cost of keeping the world safe for people who are atheists, who have ideas about religion, who criticize Muslim countries where the axiom is death to America and kill the infidel because it's baked into their religion.
Thank
It is
you,
only
Benjamin.
America defending civilization.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Charles, can you mute up, please? Can you mute up, please? Yes, thank you. Charles and Daniela and Doctor are new on stage, but first is Dr. Francine. Dr. Francine Hardaway, it's always a pleasure to see you. You get a fresh 5 starting now. What would you like to
talk about what Howard said?
Please do.
And what Scott said in response to what Howard said, and just say that we, the people, not the government. That's something we always have to remember. And Benjamin, we have to remember it about Islamic states too, that not necessarily are the people a reflection of the government. You get what you get in a government. You either elect it or you don't elect it, depending on what your political system is. But your government still doesn't necessarily reflect your wishes or your desires or the way you would like to see yourself as people. And I've been, I don't know where you've traveled to, Benjamin, but I've been in, I'm going to say 45 countries. And I've seen, including India 4 times and China 4 times. And I've seen, and Malaysia. And so there are a lot of these countries where I've actually been there. And, you know, the only thing that I can say is that in every country, no matter what the government, the people are pretty nice. I've always been able to strike up relationships with, you know, real people, no matter what the religion of the country actually is. So, an optimist. I guess that's it. And you can call me a liberal interest, but definitely not. Never mind. I'm not going to start that discussion. Thank you, everybody.
Who's next? Doctor, good morning. Welcome to the show. You have a fresh 5 starting now. What would you like to talk about, Doctor?
Thank you. Just really quick in response to Benjamin, the data shows otherwise. People escape tyranny, but when they come to this country, they gravitate toward their own. They build family businesses as opposed to becoming entrepreneurial in the sense that they're escaping their own culture. They do all kinds of things to actually find their own tribe, if you will, when they come to this country.
Absolutely, such as here in Los Angeles. We have Little Tokyo, and then we have the Armenian communities in Glendale. Absolutely, people gravitate towards their own truth.
So that's all I really wanted to say. I'm just waking up here in Los Angeles. Thank you.
Well, please go on mute, stay on stage, and when you wake up and have a fresh cup of coffee, maybe you'll want to talk in hour number 3. Let's go to, is it pronounced Daniela? Do I have that right, Daniela?
Dianella.
Dianella, good morning. Welcome to the show. What would you like to talk about,
Good
Dianella?
morning, everybody. I usually listen, but today I couldn't resist to come.
I am glad that you took the plunge. Is this your first time on our stage?
Yes, I take a
It is. You know what? It's a pleasure to have. The show is better with you on stage than without you.
Well, let's take offense about what Benjamin just said. I was married for 25 years to a brown man from India, and whatever he did, it's completely wrong. My experience with the most Indians, which are usually highly educated, navigates very well the US. They respect the laws, they adapt to the culture, but they keep their costume. Yes, they may dress in a particular way, or they may eat a particular food, but this is one of the populations that have contributed the most to the US. They're doctors, they're economists, they're scientists, they're doing a lot of contribution to the US. And the way he portrayed them is just disgusting. One of the things that I like about this country when I came in almost 30 years ago to do a master's degree and decided with my husband to stay, it was that you could be whoever you want.
Do you feel comfortable saying what city you're in?
I am around Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C., please continue.
Which is a very multicultural city. You have people from all over the world, from the local international organizations. You have the embassies. I have felt very comfortable living in this city, but I'm more comfortable every day with the kind of discourse that people like Benjamin is saying in social media and in this act. I don't know what is his background, what is his religion, but every culture, every religion has a group of people that really backward. I don't want to offend anybody, but even the Jewish religion have people who are almost living in the 200 years, and that's okay. The greatness of this country, that's what I thought, was that you could be whoever you want as long as you respect the laws, the Constitution, and you treat your neighbors nicely.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And before we go to Jarl, if you're in the audience and you would like to get your Fresh Five, we're a friendly bunch. Please raise your hand and come on up. Jarl, you're next. You have a Fresh Five. What would you like to talk about, Jarl?
I just wanted to respond to the prior speaker who suffers from American exceptionalism delusion. America.
And who might that be? We have eliminated the prior speaker rule. Who might that be?
Oh, it's Benjamin.
So very good. No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. Hint of NATO funding in many countries. So who the fuck cares that you guys pay? You're the only ones who use it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is America, his claim that like Canada doesn't help or doesn't defend. Bro, we trained your Air Force for World War I and World War II. We were in both of those wars before you. We fought basically every single war that America's ever gone into, except Iraq or Afghanistan. What the fuck has America ever done for Canada? What fucking war has Canada started? You're the ones who are grifting off the rest of the world. You're the ones who are receiving funding from the entire world to start your bullshit wars. So Benjamin, all of your points are bullshit. You're misinformed.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Before we go to a formal invite, I'd like to have Jason.
Oh, wait, I get to respond to that.
Yes, you do at the appropriate time, which will be in a couple of minutes. Go on. You absolutely get to respond. Go on. And JCC, if you could unmute, please, JCC.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, in regards to the show, and Benjamin, agree with him, you may disagree with him, but he drives content like no other niece or nephew. Am I off the rails or what?
No, I agree. He does bring content. You're right.
And if I may say real quick, every time he talks, Steve, the goes through my head.
We are going to get who wants to talk. If you're in the audience, you want to come up, but you don't know what you want to talk about, we call this the best 2 minutes on Clubhouse.
Tonight, breaking news what President Trump is now saying about the war in Iran and about gas price in the U.S. Also breaking tonight, the airline here in the U.S. reportedly set to shut down, and the alarming images tonight of a nun being attacked. First tonight, President Trump says he does not need congressional approval to continue the conflict with Iran, declaring hostilities with Iran have been, quote, terminated. But tonight, the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, gas price soaring, and the president late today saying the options, Iran agrees to a deal or will blast the hell out of them. Gas prices surging across the U.S. again tonight. The national average now at $4.44 a gallon. How much are American drivers paying to fill up their tank, and what it could cost by Memorial Day? Tonight, the reports Spirit Airlines is about to shut down. What are passengers to do? Did the government effort to save the airline collapse? Tonight, the deadly bank robbery, 2 people killed, including a bank teller. Police chasing an 18-year-old suspect. Schools on lockdown. Police turning to images on social media, including this image of an alien holding a fan of $100 bills posted after the robbery. Tonight, the disturbing video showing a nun attacked on the street, shoved from behind and knocked down. The suspect then kicking her while she's on the ground. Tonight, chilling new images of the suspect accused of the alleged assassination attempt of the president. The suspect heading into a doorway, an alert canine appearing to sense something seconds before the suspect sprinted through security. A video tonight showing him casing the hotel hours before the attack. Tonight, inside Cuba, the massive May Day demonstration as President Trump increases pressure with new sanctions against the Cuban government. Gas now costing up to $40 a gallon there. What are the Cuban people saying? Matt Rivers in Cuba tonight. Here in New York City, news tonight on that deadly bomb explosion as the NYPD was answering the call. Office from the front door, there is a major development to this. The deadly plane crash in Texas, the images coming in, 5 people dead. Tonight, the images of a suspect attempting a daring escape from police, dangling from underneath this bridge. The big news tonight involving those famous eaglets, many answering the call to help name them. Tonight, the decision is in, the new names taking flight.
And the audience that you'd like to come up, we encourage you to do so. We'll get to Benjamin in a couple of minutes. For those of you that didn't hear yesterday, thousands of Americans across the country took part in a coordinated, quote, no work, no school, no shopping, close quote, protest on May Day, marking one of the largest labor demonstrations targeting wealth inequality, labor rights, and immigration enforcement policies. Major actions included protests at corporate headquarters, rallies in major cities, and in some districts due to teacher participation. Organizers say this is just the beginning, with long-term plans aimed at building momentum towards a nationwide general strike. We'll go to the Mod Squad, and then, as promised, Benjamin. JCC, thank you for doing the heavy lifting. Would you like to contribute at this time, or are you good?
I'm pretty good, but I just want to say, yeah, that's why you climbed that bridge in D.C. yesterday, because the May Day strikes. Yeah, pretty.
Thank you. Alfonso, who's normally with his family. Alfonso, would you like to contribute at this time, or are you good? Alfonso, once, twice, 3 times. He's with the fan bam. Give him a hug and a kiss on the cheek from their Uncle Steve. Violet, would you like to contribute at this time, or are you good?
Well, one of the other things I've been thinking about recently is the impact of social media, not so much on a societal level, but on people's personal lives. Like, I was thinking about it because when I share stuff on Facebook and or Instagram, I know it's not appearing very high in my friends' feeds. You know, it's going to be like 200 posts down because I'm not playing the engagement game with Facebook and Instagram. I'm not posting 3 times a day. I'm not commenting and liking or disliking 500 comments. So the algorithms are saying, oh, well, you know, you're not being a good girl and participating like we want you to, so we're going to put you low on people's feeds. And I mean, I don't know about others, but as somebody who's not trying to be a creator or make their living on social media platforms, I hate that. I just want to share pictures with my friends or like little songs or links or whatever. And I know that they're not seeing it. Even the ones that use their Facebook regularly. And then, there's a percentage of your friends who don't use the Facebook regularly or whatever. But those algorithms drive me crazy to use it on a personal level, and I kind of wonder if other people feel that way too. Because it's one thing if you're trying to make your living that way to have a certain amount of engagement. I mean, you have to put in the work in your job to make money. I understand that. But as somebody who just wants to share a little something with friends and they're never going to see it because, like I said, the Facebook or Instagram algorithms have decided that I'm, not playing along. It drives me crazy. And like I said, I was just wondering if other people feel that way on a personal level when it's not meant to be a promotion for their business or their podcast or whatever else, that they get like no responses to their posts because it's not playing along with the system.
Thank you, Violet. And last but not least for the Mod Squad is Reverend Scott. Reverend Scott, would you like to contribute at this time, or are you good? Reverend Scott, once, twice, 3 times. Okay. We'll go to Benjamin. Oh, okay, very good. Thank you very much. Shayna is new on stage, but before we go to Shayna, as promised, Benjamin. Benjamin, you get a fresh 5.
Well, I want to donate all 5 minutes to a young woman named Noor Al-Maleki. Now, your audience, because they're Kamala voters, are kept in this ignorant box where they don't know about Noor Al-Maleki. And bless their hearts, people who think that it's just so great to go to other countries and just not know what's going on in those countries.